Welcome to something new for 2018. I'm going to do a new series here called Walt Disney Wednesday. And basically I'm going to try to do a layout every Wednesday with Disney photos. If you like Disney stuff, then you can follow along for the Disney stuff. But if you just like the scrapbooking, you can ignore the fact that it's Disney and you can look at the layout type things instead. So I have photos ready for today, and I have a few things in mind, but I don't have a master plan of what it's going to look like when it's done. So I've got one 4x6, two 3x4, all portraits, and they're all going to go on one 12x12 background, which is white because the album I'm working on at the moment is pretty much all white backgrounds, which is different for me. I do like my color and my pattern, but I'm finding it interesting to try for one album. On the other pages so far, I've used textured background, but this time I'm starting with smooth because I want to do some stamping. So that's the next thing that I have in mind, is that I want to use this set of stamps that is an old set of stamps that could do with a little bit more use in my albums. And the other thing I want to do is a whole bunch of paper layering. So I've pulled out these papers, and these are actually all from Pink Paisley, but of various ages. So these two are from Moonstruck. This one, oh actually that might be Moonstruck as well. I think those three are all from Moonstruck. And this one is a much older 2012 one from Block Party. So this is a bit more patriotic, but it's got a turquoise grid in there, which meant I could bring in this turquoise. And there we go. So that is as far as I've got in my mind. I want this to have a bigger mat and this to have a whole bunch of horizontal mats. I'm going to start cutting paper. Started with these horizontal boxes and giving all of the edges some gray ink just to get a little bit of definition with all the layers. I'm not sure if it'll show up on that one. Actually it does up close, so worth a second to add that little detail. Just on dark papers, like how you can get rid of that white edge that comes from the core of the paper. And this one is going to go straight across there, pretty central. And that one on top of there. And then this turquoise one. Now, I put one photo on here so I would be able to see where to cut the paper. But I haven't put the second one on yet because I want to overlap it. And I've added that same in-between mat there behind this bigger photo, but also pulled in another paper to get a nice deep red to pick up on the accents on his uniform. And that's a Cosmo Cricket paper. I really loved the deep reds that they used to do, so I pulled that one out from my stash. And this is going to overlap on top of all that. Now, what I want is for that to overlap just a little bit, so I need to pull this out just to that edge there. There we go. Now I could tuck that underneath. Let's see. Yep, I think actually I'll leave it like that. I did think about putting it on top because I don't know if you can tell, but there's just an arm here. But I don't think that's noticeable unless I tell you, so I'm going to leave that there. Now, what am I going to do with all this open space? It's a lot of open space for me. I won't lie. It's staring at me a lot. Now, I want to use that American map stamp, and I want to figure out where my embellishment is going to go. This is feeling like this whole thing is just a little bit skewy. So I'm going to see if I can just straighten it up a little bit. That's the thing about trying to make things straight. If they're not exactly straight, then they wind you up forever. Okay. So, where is the embellishment going to go? Well, this gives me a nice little gap for a title there. Journaling could follow down here. So that would give me a spot for embellishment down here at the bottom. Some with the title here. And some in this little spot here. Or it could actually extend all the way there, which I think would be better. So that it groups these three things. I'm worried that if I have embellishment here, here, and here, and the midpoint of those then becomes this photo where the details are smaller. Now this photo is important to the story, I want it there, but I think it loses this sort of focus on his face, where if the embellishment goes all the way over to here, then there's this imaginary line that will go from here to there, and that will keep it all in a nice focus. Okay, won't lie, just spent 20 minutes looking at this white background and trying to decide if I'm making the right choice or not. But I'm going to go for it. I think I have an answer. Okay, I pulled out some die cuts from Pink Paisley. They're also from Moonstruck, I think. This one's not. I think that might be from Sailor Bee. These are from Moonstruck. That's going to go up there somewhere. These are going to go down here. And I looked and looked and looked for something to match this turquoise, and the die cut pack doesn't have anything that's that turquoise, or if it did, I've used it already. And I don't know why, but part of the 20 minutes of me looking at this was trying to think about that turquoise, and then when I just realized I could cut a strip of the turquoise paper. Perhaps my brain is not quite switched on for 2018 yet. Yeah? So I think I'm going to go take it all the way across the bottom of the page. And these, I think this one needs some ink. These are going to overlap, and then the turquoise is going to go on top. Now, just trying to get this spacing. So that it will work with this. And some ink on this, and then I'm going to, instead of adhering this whole strip, I'm going to adhere the whole thing, but I'm going to use that document and the line. That's going to be my placement, and then whatever hangs off the bottom edge of the page will just get cut off. There we go. That's going to make it a little bit smaller. Originally I thought I might just do a partial strip and just have it surround the tags themselves. But I think having the colorful strip go all the way across the bottom is going to help me ease into this idea of an all-white page. I say that. I've made 5 or 6 layouts for this album already that already have all white backgrounds, and I still feel like I'm having to ease into it, but it is what it is. Okay, I need a stamping block. I guess the next thing I'm going to put on here is that map stamp, which I'm going to put right there. And Florida is going to kick that little round label curve there. I need some black ink. Here it is. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Just black dye ink for this so that it will dry nice and quickly. Journaling fits in here, but it's not all of the journaling. So I really do have a little bit more that I want to add in. So I'm going to put that in with the embellishment up here, which I'm going to use this tag. So the rose is the bottom, or the flowers at the bottom, not really what I want for this. And they are very pretty, so I will keep them aside for something else. And do the black and white up here at the top. And then need some pieces to bridge this gap. I liked the idea of bringing in a little bit of gold, and this is gold foil metallic sticker from Heidi Swap. I'm not going to take these off yet because I'm not quite sure where it's going to go, but that way I can move it around. Need a little bit of a bigger piece there. I think something that could help me with those little horizontal pieces are shapes like this. So these are all little tags from Ellie's Studio that I've had in my stash quite a long time. I'm going to try bringing that over here, tucking one under there. And if I can just keep layering enough that those two groupings come together, it might all work. That one needs to go on that side there. And then I need something between the red and the yellow boxes. I need to get some darker color up there where I've got the black as an accent here and here. It'd be nice to get that in there as well. So let's see what I can find. Pull out a few different pieces here. I've got some small bits that I'm going to add in a moment. That one is black with gold. I actually like it to go behind that red just a little bit to pull it all together. There we go. Just the teeniest little offset there makes me very happy. Now, I pulled out a couple different things from Ali Edwards kits, which I think I've only ever had one or two of. And I pulled out this chipboard because I thought that was a good piece to bring that large horizontal area together, and then these little pieces that I thought would be good for scattering. But then I've also got one more of these little pieces that I think might be nice to tuck in there. Now I've got shades of white going on, so if I mix white and cream, or if I mix different shades of white, the thing that makes it work for me is to continue to mix it rather than only have, one or, well, if I only have two different shades, then it just feels like it's a bit of a mistake. But if there's lots, then it seems like a choice. So now I've got this one, this white is different, that white is different, that white is different, and that makes it work for me. Okay, I need something maybe a little rounded over here. I did have one more label, but I think I'm getting pretty heavy with the labels and grids there, so I'd like something a little softer. What else was on here? Would there be another piece that could work? No. I do have a heart. I'll try it. It's going to go there, but I'm going to put the chipboard down first. I don't want to lose any of those layers. So, I mean, I could bring it down like this, but then what's the point of having all the paper layers there? So I'm going to bring it up here. And I'm going to bring it right to the edge of that photo. Then let's have a look at this. Does it seem too random now? It's because I've got this heart here. I quite like the idea of bringing a heart into each grouping. But this one, I feel, is going to come down here. Which then just gives me a new challenge because I'm pretty sure I've used all the other heart stickers in this book. So, yeah, they are all gone. So now I need to find another heart that will work up here or maybe in the title. But I've got my space now to put in the rest of the journaling that didn't fit here. Getting that journaling in place just answered my heart question because the hearts don't need to be the same. I've got a pink one here, I've got a white gold combination here, but I've got a black outline stamp with gray pen writing here, and I've got gray pen writing there. So why don't I stamp an outline of a heart in black ink up there, and that will give me my continuity between that grouping and that grouping, and also gives me 3 hearts. Amazing. Okay. I still don't have a title, so I should probably sort that out, huh? To bring that stamping into the title, I'm going to do some borders right underneath there and then put my title letter stickers just below the stamps, I think. So I'm going to start with this row of circles. I'm just doing all the stamping in plain black on this, nothing super fancy, just want that look of it actually being hand stamped. And I'm choosing this because I know some of my final embellishment is going to be circle shaped. So I hope that will help it all come together too. Why use one circle when you can use a million? Why use one bit of stamping when you could have lots? It's kind of how I think in design terms. I'm going to use a big border stamp and then one that's slightly smaller. But seemingly in the world's largest envelope. Come on. Stuck in there forever. It really doesn't want to be stamped. It's going to stay in the bag. Come on, come on. Okay, it's moving now. Hurrah. Is that the most suspense that you've ever had? Okay, hopefully not. Now, this little line of arrows will hopefully do 2 things. One, it's going to point the direction kind of toward this photo. Also, it's going to give me a little gap to put the first word in my title. I'm afraid this title is not going to win any awards for originality, but it wins from the story because so the story is, this is in Liberty Square at Disney World at Magic Kingdom, and this is JJ, he's a town crier, and he does a show with the Muppets, who are up here, called Great Moments in History, but only the American parts, of course. And we were there for the show a little early, and Wonder Boy started talking to JJ, and JJ invited him to be the town crier's assistant and ring a bell throughout one of the songs in the show. So when Wonder Boy tells you this story, he says, I was a bell ringer, I was a bell ringer, I was a bell ringer. And he has since started to learn how to play the handbells, as inspired by this event. Thank you to the lovely scrapbooking viewer who told me about this and helped this little bit of magic happen. I really am forever grateful. But here we go. So, since Wonder Boy says, I was a bell ringer, I was a bell ringer, I was a bell ringer, I think that needs to be the title. Even though I could do all sorts of things with bell puns, ring-a-ding-ding, but instead, I'm going to go with how he tells the story. Now this is all looking a bit black and red, and it's missing all the other colors and layers and things like that, so I'm going to use a punch to bring in that turquoise here. I want a little bit of dimension, so I'm going to use this, which is an old Jenny Bolin Fiskars punch that makes a little pinwheel when you fold it up. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. Yeah, you fold one side of each of the little triangles into the middle. And if the back side of your paper is not one that coordinates with your layout, then you need to punch two and double it up so that you like both sides. And then I'm going to put red right in the middle. It's a great big glittery red enamel dot. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive here in the middle to hold it all. Adhesive in the middle to hold the paper down so that I'm not needing the strength of the adhesive on the enamel dot to also hold it down. And then that is going to come over here. And I'm just wondering if it needs to go on something. That looks a little too chaotic, even for me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Bring it right the way up there so that it overlaps the stamping a little bit, because the stamping is a bit blockier than my usual style, and I think my eye is having a little trouble adjusting. If I'm going to make it straight, I gotta make it actually straight. Come on, move over. There we go. Now, all the way back to the beginning, I had this paper. I'm going to use a little circle punch to make those into some nice little circle pieces that I can scatter around the page. Now I'm going to do a whole bunch of scattering. I'm going to start with a couple different colors of mist. I've got some turquoise, I'm going to do some gray and some gold. And I think that's going to help a lot with my issues of the white looking quite sparse at the moment. Okay, so the areas of embellishment are quite big, but those areas of mist are smaller to make that triangle that I wanted to find at the very beginning a little more obvious. So that was a turquoise one, and this is a gray October afternoon mist. It's a little bit more painty. It'll have a little bit different quality. I like mixing them up a little bit like that. Just a little detail, but I like how this gray will be opaque on the turquoise paper. Just wiping that off because on that gloss it's never going to dry. And then a little bit of gold, because I've got the gold here and here, gold in his bell in this picture. So add that little detail. And then I'm going to scatter things that are not missed. I've got these little stars. Then you're going to get scattered around as well. Just figuring out where. I like having one centered above that text and framed just underneath the map. Up here. Again, that mist is never going to dry on that gloss, so I'm going to take that off there. And one. Just connecting that pinwheel to the title. And then some enamel dots. I'd use that same one here, but smaller ones. And these little word strips. There's a bigger one here that I wanted to include. Let's see if it will fit. I think it will if I put it underneath. Yeah. One there. One under here. Tiny little one here. Not sure about the placement of that one. But there's a little bit better. I think so. And this brought in a little bit of yellow that I liked the idea of then repeating the yellow, and there's a couple pieces here on the chipboard. Circle one down to this grouping. That needs some yellow too. I love that little hint of yellow against the turquoise. I like this combination of red, turquoise, grey, and white. I've always loved that combination, but yellow is lovely with turquoise as well, so they all work together. I know this is a little bit of an oddball. There's no other pink, but I really like how this pink, one, I like that this heart is a little different, and if it sits to your eye and says, no, it doesn't go, then you know, don't try that idea. But I like how this one matches the pavement here, and it's just kind of a soft tone. It's also quite close to their skin tone in how this is printed. They're not really pink people in real life, but the tone in the photo makes it a little bit of a match. I'm going to put the date down here, and I don't think it's missing anything else. I'm just looking and wondering, this corner here is a little black and white to my eye, but at the same time, I'm not sure that I want to add a whole bunch more up there because I've got these 3 nice clear areas of where there is stuff. So I think I am going to leave it there and let this corner be a bit black and white. Yeah, why not? Okay, I wonder though about a couple more dots. I have some gold ones. No, let's not do gold. Let's do turquoise. Oops. Stick to me instead of the page. That's not the idea. Yep, so I've got a little triangle of the turquoise ones there. And there, 1, 2, 3, and then up at the top. Let's trade the order and put the turquoise one to the left. Needs to be up higher. There we go. Little triangle there. And here's how I can add a little something to that spot that I was. Put a white heart there. So that my 3 different hearts also have a heart that's the same. And I'm just wondering if I need to make those a grouping. The need for 3s, it's a dangerous, dangerous thing. No, I'm just going to leave it just like that. It is 2, I know. But no, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. Okay, so that's everything. Thanks so much for watching this first edition of this new series, and I'll try to see what I can do every Wednesday to make this happen. If you like the video, if you like other videos on my channel and you want to see more, please do click that subscribe button so that you can get a little notification of every time there's a new video. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.